Where was I? Oh yeah, about here. Things to do: get car out of garage, open door, undo the bolts for that wing, pull the wing off, tidy it all up, pick the remaining bits of old wing off, then repair anything that needs repairing. I might run a few stitches just along these bits and then seam seal it. I don't need to, that's all welded on nicely, but it's just to tidy it up. And this bit I showed you in the dark and the gloom at the end of the last video, but that is the back side of the repair I did when I was working in that office car park. And to be honest, like, considering most of that was done at night, or I don't know, not in the best conditions, that is such a nice like piece of welding, if I do say so myself. So yeah, again, as per usual, less chat, more doughy stuff. So I'm going to put the phone down and then crack on. Ta-da! The wing is off. I didn't actually get the car right the way out of the garage, so I just pulled the wing forward and then I could get to the bolts. But yeah, the wing is off. This whole area all nice and solid, because of course that is a brand new wing, sill, full length of the car, done properly, picked out at the A, B and C pillars. Just need a few finishing welds down here, which I can do, that's no problem. Tidy some of this up and dress it, ready for the wing to go on. Pick off the remaining wheel arch lip that's on there, same again at the front. Clean it all off and epoxy it, and hopefully I can do that by the end of today, so that the epoxy has cured and I'm ready to weld the wing on tomorrow. So that is what I'm going to do, and it's the same process as what I did on the other side. So I'm just going to really motor, won't be much filming, just going to get it done. I said I wasn't going to do much filming as I did this, but I do need to do a little progress report. All of that is fine, I'm just cutting slots, then I can twist off, break off the bits of metal where there aren't spot welds, and then twist and pull, and you get the other bits off like so. So that's what I'm doing there. I've done this bit here, all of that is good apart from there was a frilly section there, so I've lopped that off. This bit's all good because that's the bit I've repaired previously. In fact, it's repaired so well that my welds don't want to break off as easily as a plug weld does. And I'm just working my way around the back here. So I've just cut slots. Everywhere there's a spot weld, a bit will stay. Everywhere there isn't, it should come off. It's just easier to do than like that. See, it's just a lot easier to do than trying to find and grind through spot welds. You get the idea. But anyway, gonna need to clean the rest of that off and then put a section in there. Doesn't really bother me because I've got to put weld on this side anyway. It just would have been nice if I didn't have to. Right, all of the chopping is done. It is only that bit that needs repairing. I'm wondering whether this car at some point had a wing, because that return for the wing is really narrow compared to what I was expecting, but I don't know, maybe it was just like that. It looked really original where the wing was actually bonded on here, so I don't know, maybe it's just a strange thing. But yeah, basically a couple of bits to touch in there. That's not a hole, that's just shininess, but the rest of the wheel arch is really good. It's just that bit for some reason. So same process as last time. Going to cut myself a strip, fold it into 90 degrees, then hammer one edge to create the curve. Same as before, 90-degree piece of steel, smashing that bit flat so that you start to get a bend. So I've only been doing that a second and it's already started to curve. So more of the same, shove it in the car, weld it on, next bit. A bit of bashing later. We have pretty much the finished article. Chop it to shape, tack it on there, weld it on there, zip up all the other bits. Epoxy. Got the weld around. That is now tacked in. It blew a bit of a hole there, but that's no biggie. Profile looks all right. I am now going to weld that in. Normally I would like to set up the GoPro so you can see what I'm up to, but I've run it out of batteries, so you'll just have to imagine. Hopefully what will be probably, I would think, 10 minutes welding these various bits up for me is going to be like that for you. Me again, I've just welded that bit in, and considering it is outdoor welding and it's not windy, but there's a bit of a breeze, pretty happy with that. I just wanted to point out again, I'm going to use the copper on the back here when I fill those bits in, so it doesn't just blow big holes again, and the same on bits like this. So I'll just clamp that up, weld into there, snap that off. Bob's your uncle and your dad. Okay, we are getting there. You can tell it's getting dark because my iPhone wants to put its torch thing on. I have started keying this up ready for the epoxy, but I forgot there's still cavity wax on there, so I'm gonna have to go get some solvents, clean that off, change the disc because I've impregnated that, then I'd do it again. So that's what I'm going to do now. Didn't realise how low it was getting on flap discs. I've cleaned that off with some thinners, but I just want to rough it up a bit more because that epoxy, although it is surface tolerant and it will go over anything, it does like a good mechanical key, and it tells you that on the data sheet. So that is why I'm taking the extra effort. Incidentally, once the wing is welded on, I'll have to come back and clean the back side off anyway, and it's at that point that I'll treat those bits and epoxy the inner lip. Same on the other side of the car. That's better. Now we have a very nice solid inner wing, no rust whatsoever, ready to be epoxied. Okay, epoxy time. Back using the Jotun Jotamastic 87. Zoidberg asked me a question about this stuff, about basically once you've bought it, how long do the pots last? And this one I think has been going for a couple of years. Because it's a two-part epoxy, unless the hardener is in here, this stays liquid. The thicker sedimentary bits settle to the bottom, so you do have to give it a damn good stir, but as long as you do that, it keeps going forever really. It's only when you add the hardener that it actually begins to cure. So the idea being, you pour that in there, add the hardener, give it another good stir, leave it 10 minutes for the catalyst to start doing its thing, slap it on, leave it 24 hours and you're good to go. So this is the 87. I believe they've replaced it now with a 90. Don't know what the difference is. I think something to do with maybe you can get it in more colours, like it's tintable, whereas I just buy the black stuff, because then when you go over with underseal and stone chip and stuff, if that chips off, you're left with black epoxy again, not something else. Right, I will mix, stir, do it, paint it, job done. So that's in the pot, mixed up, and in the 10 minutes I've got, I am going to just, well, basically this is the brand new offside front wing, looking at the inside of it, and I'm just going to clean it off. I haven't done any of the plug weld drill holes yet, but what I'm going to do is clean it off and then epoxy the inside, and probably the first like inch or so along the bottom, just to give it that extra bit of protection. And then when it gets welded on, obviously bits of it will burn off, but can't do a lot about that. Go get the other wing. I don't know what I've done with that, but it's knocking about somewhere. Okay, so epoxy is on all the way down to there. That'll be covered up by the, oh, there's a bit there I could do. Yeah, that'll all be covered up by the wing, obviously. The lower part of the wing goes right down to the sill at that point, so it doesn't have to look neat, just has to be on there and waterproof. Did the wheel arch lip. I did right the way down to there. Now I'm going to go do the inside of those wings. Okay, it's officially dark o'clock. I have epoxied the insides of the wings where they're prone, well, they're not really prone to rust per se, it's just the whole car isn't exactly waterproof. So they're done. Tomorrow, hopefully, get the wings on. Incidentally, if you're wondering, I came out here at 3:20. It's now 5:20, so everything you've seen in this video from start to finish took 2 hours. So that's picking off the remainder of that wing, welding bits on, tacking things up, prepping stuff, epoxying, doing wings, and that's it. So, you know, if you steal a couple of hours a day, you can make progress on projects. It's just getting out there that I find hard. Just sort of sometimes would rather watch TV. Bye.